Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 anime episode review. This time I'm talking about episode 22, so let's get to it. In this episode, Ash and Goh head to Littleroot Town in the Hoenn Region. Their goal is to witness the migration of the Beautifly. They head there via train and on the way there they decide to have a drawing contest. The goal was to see who could draw Garchomp the best on their phones. They both do a terrible job, but they still think they did better than the other. They try to argue who won to the point that they involve Pikachu, who seems to like both drawings, and Raboot, who couldn't care less. So Ash and Go arrive at Littleroot Town. They talk about their mission, that they will stay in Littleroot Town for 4 days, and they recall when Professor Sakuragi assigned them this mission, to witness and study the migration of Beautifly. They encounter a Wurmple and Go tries to catch it as usual, but this time he oddly tells Raboot to battle it first. This is unusual because Go almost always just throws the Pokeball and that's it. Given the focus of this episode, I guess this was done to add more discord between Go and Raboot. But going back to the Wurmple, Go tells Raboot to catch it, and Raboot simply walks by the Wurmple. Once again, Raboot couldn't care any less. This shocks Go, who drops the Pokeball, and the Wurmple gets away. Ash wonders why does Go want to catch a Wurmple since he already caught 3, and Go says that he wants to evolve one again. This is of course because the 3 he had all evolved into Cascoon. Ash and Go arrive at the Pokemon Center where they will be staying to check in, and they head out to continue their search for Beautifly. Out on the beach searching, they encounter a Zigzagoon that appears to be injured. Ash drops his bag and he attempts to help it. Another Zigzagoon was hiding nearby and it tries to steal from Ash's bag. Raboot notices and it stops the Zigzagoon, who panics and runs away. The other Zigzagoon also gets up and it runs away, showing that it wasn't injured at all, it was all a ruse. Raboot notices that the two Zigzagoon join up with a Lombre. The episode shifts to nighttime. Ash and Go are in their room wondering how to proceed since they can't find any clues. A Wurmple walks by the window, shocking Raboot. Go then shocks the Wurmple, who runs away. However, this gives them the idea to search for Silcoons instead since they evolve into Beautifly. With this in mind, they decide to head to bed. In the middle of the night, Raboot wakes up and it sneaks out of the room. Also, it's funny that Raboot sleeps on the bed with a blanket and all like a human. In the morning, Raboot sneaks back in, but Go notices and he asks Raboot where it went. Raboot simply ignores him and it goes back to bed. The next day, as they have breakfast, it is clear that Go is feeling dejected because of Raboot's cold treatment, which occurs even during breakfast as Go makes eye contact with Raboot, who simply looks away. Back in the field, Ash and Go find the Silcoon and they rejoice in knowing that the migration will happen very soon. So they head back to town. As they walk, Ash and Pikachu show how deep their bond of friendship is by acting out how they think Silcoon evolved. Go looks at them and simply utters, "You two are really close," looking like, "Man, I wish I had that." Raboot urges Go to buy some apples, which Go does, but then Raboot refuses to give Go an apple, which hurts Go, and he finally breaks down. He tells Raboot that why does it act like that? Why does it refuse to look Go in the eyes? And Raboot is like, "Really? You're doing this here and now?" And then like, "Psst, man up." This enrages Go further, who demands that Raboot stop reacting like that. He asks Raboot if it really hates Go that much. The lady that was selling the apples tells Go that Raboot reminds her of her son, that Raboot's attitude can be attributed to it being at that age, that Raboot is in its rebellious phase. Just give it time. And I just love Raboot's reaction, like, "Really, lady? What's wrong with you? You're really going to embarrass me like that?" This gives Go some relief because if it's true, it means that Raboot does not actually hate him. So it's nighttime again and Raboot sneaks off once again, but this time Go follows it to find out where it's going. However, Go loses track of Raboot, and so he can't find out where it went. Go does hear a strange sound off in the distance. In the morning, Ash and Go head back to the forest so that they can see the migration. They manage to see the Silcoon evolve into Beautifly, and then they witness as they fly away, which I must say was a beautiful sight. Ash asks Go if he is sure he doesn't want to catch one, and Go asks Ash in return if he is sure he doesn't want to battle any, but both of them just stand there mesmerized as they watch the Beautifly. Now, I think this dialogue was kind of forced on Go's part because it makes sense that Ash would ask Go if he was sure he wasn't going to catch one because Go wanted to catch one. But Go's question was kind of forced because while Ash does like to battle, he does not battle random wild Pokemon just because. Ash would only battle a wild Pokemon if he wanted to catch it. I feel that this dialogue was done so that both of them could ask the other a question of why they aren't doing anything, to emphasize that they were captivated by the gorgeous sight before them. So, it's nighttime again. Ash and Go are having dinner while they talk about the migration. Go tells Ash about Raboot sneaking off at night, and Ash decides to follow it alongside Go, which they do, however, they lose sight of Raboot just like Go did before. And also, just like before, there's a strange noise off in the distance which Ash and Go follow. The noise leads them to an abandoned warehouse. They look inside and they see Raboot showing off some mad dance moves as the Lombre and Zigzagoon from before watch. The Lombre and the Zigzagoon try to emulate Raboot's dancing because it turns out that Raboot was teaching them how to dance. However, they can't dance as well. Raboot reveals that the apples it got Go to buy before were to feed to the Lombre and Zigzagoon, which mirrors what Raboot did before as a score bunny for the Nick kit back in episode 4. Go watches as Raboot smiles and he realizes that Raboot can smile. Some wild Loudred show up out of nowhere and a dance-off begins. It turns out that the Pokemon in the area battle for territory with dancing for whatever reason, and Raboot wanted to help the Lombre and Zigzagoon win. Raboot begins to dance, but it fails when the Loudred break the rhythm with their innate sound ability. And then the Loudred begin pushing back with their own dancing. Go sees Raboot's determination and he decides to help it. Ash and Pikachu help as well. The result is a huge dance party with all the Pokemon, including some wild Pokemon that joined it as well. The next day, Ash and Pikachu are at the train station ready to leave. Go is back at the warehouse where Raboot and the wild Pokemon are still sleeping. Go looks at Raboot. He says it looks so content and then Go says, "Farewell, Raboot." Go arrives at the station where Ash was waiting and Ash asks Go where is Raboot. Go reveals that he decided to leave Raboot behind because he feels that it's for the best. That Raboot was bored because of Go, not because of some rebellious face. That Raboot will be happier this way. Ash asks Go if he is sure of his decision because if he is, Ash won't stop him. Go assures him that he is sure, but then Ash asks him if he told Raboot about the decision, which he didn't, and so Go turns around. He attempts to go back for Raboot, but as expected, the doors of the train close and the train leaves. Go desperately runs to the back of the train while recalling everything he has been through with Raboot. Go ends up in tears once he realizes that it's hopeless, that it's too late. At this point, I thought, wait, are they really going to pull that on us? Raboot is really going to be gone? But then I thought, nah, I bet Raboot is already on the train and it will show up when all hope has been lost. And sure enough, it did. Go looks at Raboot with his sad face and he asks Raboot why. Raboot's face is like, really man, you're crying? What's wrong with you? Raboot then gives Go an apple, which Go takes a bite of, and then Raboot takes a bite as well. Go notices that Raboot is smiling, which he says while screaming, and Raboot is like, what do you mean? I did not smile. Go then hugs Raboot in delight to his left, all embarrassed. Go and Raboot then take a picture together. It turns out that Raboot was just a huge tsundere all along. Also, I guess Raboot decided to be a little nicer after Go helped it against the Loudred. This should mark a new beginning for Go and Raboot, especially considering that the special preview showed Go training with Raboot, meaning that Go might battle more seriously in the future. But that's the episode. In the end, Raboot was not released after all, which was expected. I did hesitate for a bit near the end, but there was really no doubt in my mind that this would be the case. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching and let's meet again in the next video.